Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 4. That's right. We're a month into this podcast of Pile It On. It's an NFL podcast brought to you by the Props Network. I am one of your hosts, Steve Clark.
And I'm your other host. I'm Joe Walkowski, half of the fabulous football boys. We're here at Pile It On, and we are piling on new episodes. Episode 4. Happy to be with you. Really, episode 7, because we were doing good things together. We established our chemistry on a different feed, and the good folks over at the Props Network, they thought they had a good thing. How you doing, Steve?
I'm good. There's nothing like the social cues and social timing of being on a video call with someone that is across the country.
Across the country. I've been in a different state every time we have recorded an episode.
You've been, a different backdrop every single time. You're giving the fans some variety there.
I was in Michigan. We had a good app. I was in Kansas City, Missouri. We had a good app. Phoenix, Arizona. We had a good app. And hey, Los Angeles, California, in my girlfriend's childhood bedroom, I sit here wearing more of a shirt than it looks like, to be honest with you. There's a tank top.
Yeah, there's something underneath.
But yeah, I'm continuing the annual tradition of making Steve jealous. So yeah, I know you're cooped up there in New York City.
Yes.
And I needed to make this drive from Phoenix to Los Angeles today. I just got off the road. Thank you, Steve, for being accommodating.
Absolutely.
So I thought, I'll have the least exposure if I do a one-way car rental. Car rental's so cheap right now. And I got to the rental place and I said, hey, can I get a convertible for the day? And they said, what are you willing to pay for the convertible? And I told them I'll pay $60. And they said yes. So I've been touring around the Southwest in a Ford Mustang.
Holy crap.
It's been fantastic.
That rules.
Yeah, and my fiance's cousin, he's a very talented wide receiver. He's rehabbing an ACL injury, and he's trying to walk on at D1 next season.
Whoa.
So we've just been running routes. We've been working out together.
No way.
Yeah, I got a little project going.
That's so fun.
Shouts to Caleb Diaz. I cannot believe, I'm thinking we did a little bit of the draft prep. Oh my gosh,
probably crazy.
Throwing in live routes is so hard.
Yeah.
I know I'm talking to 52-yard Steve, but
that's so fun though.
I can hit a deep throw perfectly. Throw a corner, throw a post, it's fine. You just put air under it, but like a comeback route. Oh
yeah, trying to time it.
Yeah, I'm bouncing them. They're flying all over the place. Shouts to Justin Herbert, who's definitely having the same struggles that I am with the same drills. But yeah, it's a great week. We finally have something to talk about the NFL draft, and let's get into it, huh?
How about, before we start talking about the draft, this crazy trade that happened yesterday where the Patriots traded professional wrestler Rob Gronkowski to the Bucs for a 4th-round pick.
And yeah, the question on all of our minds is, what does this mean for Rob's 24/7 championship?
Yeah.
He's still a WWE champion right now. And the only entertaining thing in wrestling, which is this belt they pass it along 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They're going to need to take care of that. So luckily he's playing for Bruce Arians, not Bill Belichick.
Here's an actual question. If he gets tackled next year, and there's like a dog pile, so he's pinned for 3 seconds, does the person on top of him get the belt?
I think that's absolutely in the realm of possibility.
Why? Because it's a 24/7 belt. If he gets pinned for 3 seconds, he's lost the wrestling match.
Absolutely. The WWE needs to talk to some of these already crooked NFL referees. I'd recommend Clete Blakeman of Omaha, Nebraska, and just say, hey, when Cameron Jordan tackles Rob in the flat, give him a quick 3 count.
Yeah.
They'll build to the WrestleMania match, and it'll be great. What a deal for Tampa Bay. I mean, they have 2 Rob Gronkowskis on the roster now, Mike Evans and Rob Gronkowski. There's so much physicality in the receiving core, and it's just going to be a party to play there.
It's insane. And now that Tom Brady, Rob Gronkowski, these Bucs fans are they're becoming Patriots fans, essentially. Like what we thought of as Patriots fans 2 years ago is now what the Bucs fans are becoming, which is sad. It's super sad. They can't be feeling good about this. I'm sure they're excited to win.
Yeah, but I think it's kind of like when you go to Vegas and you see like Britney Spears or Celine Dion. It's like, yeah, it's not going to be great or nuanced, but I just want to see these names, have a few drinks, and like take some selfies there. Like the Buccaneers, they're the perfect Florida team. They're just like exploitive trash football. They have names that like your great aunt knows,
right?
Party on the ship. And like I will say, I know Tom Brady got caught at a closed public park and was kicked out.
Yeah,
I'm calling BS there. I think that's fake news there.
You think that's a fake news story?
That's planted by the publicist. That's about as real as Aaron Rodgers' relationship with Danica Patrick.
You didn't think there was any love between Aaron Rodgers and race car driver Danica Patrick?
It's so weird that Aaron Rodgers only dates female celebrities who's just help his star grow, and they help their star grow. It's so weird that that's just how his heart is inclined.
It is interesting. Why would, because he lives in a mega mansion. He rents from Derek Jeter in like this enormous house. There's got to be a gym in this house. There's got to be a big backyard. Why is he going to a public park to exercise? So I maybe you are right about this.
And we saw the Tom versus Time documentary. His exercises aren't things you need a lot of equipment for. He's like Tom Brady's fitness is based on he wants his body to be like a baby's.
Yeah.
Like he wants those loose muscles. And that sounds like a joke, but that is
That's
line
real.
From like he part of his training is like he looks at how babies fall, so he tries to have like loose muscle groups. And it's not like he's doing pull-ups Brooklyn style. Like, what's he doing? He's planking in a public park and getting kicked out? No way.
My friend, who's a Bucs fan, a long-suffering Bucs fan, made a bet with me that the 4th-round pick that the Bucs traded to the Patriots, he bet me $5 that that player will become a Hall of Famer. So if he's right, or if he's right, I gave him plus 2,000 odds. I'll give him $100. If he's wrong, he owes me $5.
So yeah, we're doing a good job here, really finding like good $5 bets in our own life. That's your version of my Fiesta Bowl line bet, which I am gonna win. I hear sources tell me.
Yeah, I mean, you have to. At this point.
Yeah, I would only be nervous if I see Jake Fromm drafted in that position. We know the Patriots are going to take a quarterback, and if that's the case, you might be. So you would pay $1,000.
100.
100?
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
It's fine. I'm willing to take that risk for a free $5.
Yeah, I think you've got it. It's still better odds than there are that Joe Burrow will be the first overall pick.
Yeah.
You can. Right now, you can bet $1,000 to win $1.
What a disaster!
Oh, amazing.
There's a couple other news stories that popped up this week. Lamar Jackson will be on the cover of Madden 21. Is this the easiest Madden cover they've ever had?
No question. Maybe Mahomes was this easy last year, but like, there's two players who are head and shoulder above all comers as potential face of the league.
Yep.
There's no give Lamar the Michael Vick ratings.
Sure. Right? He should be 99 speed, agility, juke, all that.
Absolutely. Big week for Lamar Jackson. He gets the Madden endorsement, then he gets the Donald Trump endorsement.
Wait, I missed this. What happened?
Yeah, Donald Trump was he tweeted that the Ravens were right to draft Lamar Jackson 2 years ago. It's almost as if 50,000 people in his country aren't dying of a plague. And then Lamar retweeted it with the comment, "Truz Trump."
Oh, okay.
TRUZZ.
Are you hip to this? Do you know what that means?
Yeah, I think it means trust.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I would infer that. I know Steve wasn't, because he used the phrase, "Are you hip to this?" Usually a spoiler alert that you are not.
Yeah. When I read Twitter, half of it, I'm just like, what? What is this?
Yeah, I'm like, will he avoid the Madden curse? I mean, it's not like he's going to have a worse ending to the season than he had this year.
Right.
there will be some regression, but the division kind of stinks, and he's a special player. So I think he's going to break the curse.
Mahomes kind of broke it last year.
I would say winning the Super Bowl and saving lives in San Francisco by winning the Super Bowl is breaking the curse.
Yeah, he got hurt for 3 weeks, but it's a mini curse.
Yeah, there was like a 3-hour, like a 12-hour window where it looked like he was done for the year.
Yeah.
So he just wore off quickly. He's got a good immune system. So Lamar, take your zinc, strengthen it up. We know these things. We don't quite understand them, but they could come for any of us. So you should be in that mindset anyway. So it's fine.
This is a really fun news story. So all these GMs are idiots, right? I think we can agree on that. They're just like old men who don't understand technology. They need to be walked through everything.
And you know that there are so many tech companies attached to every NFL franchise that made a killing upselling them on anything.
Yeah.
If there is like potential value added, like no team wouldn't spend $15,000. So I'm happy about it. So Lions GM Bob Quinn, he's going to have an IT guy sleeping, not just there for the draft, he'll be sleeping in a Winnebago parked in his driveway.
In Bob Quinn's driveway, like right out, so he has access to him immediately if he needs it.
Yeah, assistant GM, not there. Head coach, not there. IT guy, not there either, but he's in the driveway. He's very conveniently located. I do wonder if the IT guy is going to be allowed to bring his family to the Winnebago.
Interesting.
This could be the worst family vacation of all time. Normally you pack up the fam in an RV. It's like, oh, we'll go see the Grand Canyon. And then instead of going to see this big hole, they go see how you construct a roster filled with holes.
There's no way he brings his family. If he has children and they're cooped up in a Winnebago for 3 days and the only thing to do is to go outside into like a wealthy neighborhood.
Yeah, and like I know the neighborhood that the Lions mostly live in is pretty close to where I grew up.
Yeah.
It is everyone in the entire town is going to know where Bob Quinn is. Like I will commission a local Detroit resident to do a study on the eggs thrown at Bob Quinn's house on Halloween before and after the red herring Winnebago was parked in the driveway.
Yeah.
Hopefully he can install a patch that stops us from drafting Derek Brown 3rd overall. So our thoughts are with you, IT guy.
We'll get to that in a little bit. This is a story that you sent me. Draft prospect Jonathan Taylor just signed a lifetime deal with Topper's Pizza.
Hell yeah, he did.
Which I guess is like a Wisconsin pizza chain?
Yeah, that's a Wisconsin pizza chain. And like, we always talk about how like these agents exploit the players in the pre-draft process. And like, this is an amazing deal. Not only does he have lifetime free pizza, he gets 4 pizza franchises.
He just owns 4 of the franchises now?
Yeah.
Does he have to do any work or he just gets the revenue?
I imagine he's got to do some work. He says that he will be involved in his free time, of course. And he wanted to make sure that teams knew that football was still his priority.
Yeah. Will this plummet his draft stock?
Yeah. A lot of times I am worried about the carbs affecting his diet.
Yeah. There's a lot of pizza.
Yeah, and it's Wisconsin, so they're going to be very active. He
needs to end up in Green Bay.
Absolutely.
In order for him to maintain a healthy work balance between his 2 very important jobs, he needs to be a Packer.
Yeah, and I think there is a little bit of distance between Green Bay and Topper's Pizza, so he could check in. I mean, could this be the first step to Jonathan Taylor becoming the Gus Fring of the NFL? Like, he's this powerful, scary specimen, but deep down, he's just a fast food chain titan.
All right. A lot of Wonderlic scores came out this last week.
Don't talk about it, Steve.
So I figured Well, let's go through some of the ones that were leaked. Some of the notable players. Yeah, you just saw what I
your
got.
Score.
Hold on, let's go through this. Tua got a 19. It's out of 50. And the way the Wonderlic works is there are 50 questions and you have 12 minutes to answer all 50 questions. So like math, I guess knowing what certain phrases mean. That was a lot of questions on the one that we took. It's a weird test, but you have 12 minutes to answer 50 questions. Tua got 19. Justin Herbert got a 39, which is really impressive. The average score is 20. So 39 is dynamite. Joe Burrow got 34. And then these wide receivers typically get lower scores. Jerry Jeudy got a 9.
Yeah, I mean, wide receivers have the same job description as a dog on the beach. See a ball, catch it.
So Jerry Jeudy got a 9, CeeDee Lamb got a 12, and Henry Ruggs got a 20. So not bad. I wanted to take it and see how I stacked up. So I had Joel also took one. Joel, how did your test go?
Well, I did pretty well. I thought I was really cruising through it, and I just didn't allocate my time very well. I finished with a 29, which is a pretty good score.
Yeah.
But I left 15 questions unanswered. So I wish I had a little bit of test coaching.
Yeah.
Because like a lot of the questions were fun.
Yeah.
Like if you haven't taken it, it's like pretty fun. Like you'll see like complex groups of numbers. You have to say what's in a sequence. It's about word meaning. That's where I kind of cleaned up. But yeah, the time allocation was really hard for me. So that would tell GMs like, hey, this guy, he's going to give you a lot of delay a game penalties. Yeah.
So Joel texted me after he finished and said he got a 29 and that he ran out of time. So that gave me a little bit of an advantage because I knew going in I needed to rush through my test. So I was able to answer all 50 questions.
Wow.
And the ones that were taking me more than, 20 seconds to figure out, I just guessed and moved on. So that was my strategy going in, was like get all the ones I know and then make educated guesses on the ones that take too long to figure out. So I got a 38, which I'm thrilled with.
That's an amazing score. You should put that on your resume, honestly.
Yeah, right? There was like a chart that said how hireable you are based on your Wonderlic score. And I think 38 made me like in the 92nd percentile or something.
Yeah, I was in the 78th percentile. So, I see why your career is going a little bit better than me. There's a reason I do free moves for my in-laws for a living. So I guess we're seeing it there.
I would love to prepare for a Wonderlic test and see how well I could do. Because, I'm sure Justin Herbert took a class and had a tutor to get his 39.
And I'm sure Tua didn't take a class.
Yes.
I understand a lot of players just kind of disregard it.
Yeah.
But quarterback, I think it matters. I don't think it would ever impact a receiver's playmaking ability. But, you want to look at it when evaluating, like, quarterbacks, interior linemen. But it seems like kickers are the ones who really clean up on this.
Yeah, usually special team specialists. So the only person who's ever gotten a 50 in the history of the NFL doing this is Pat McAnally. He was drafted in 1975.
He's the first perfect Wonderlic and the first Irish Italian.
Yeah. Ryan Fitzpatrick and Ben Watson, the tight end, scored 48.
Which is amazing because Ben Watson has had he had that amazing field awareness play in the divisional round versus Denver where he came back and he caused the fumble as the defender was going into the end zone. I don't think it was scored correctly, but still, the most memorable play of his career is like him doing something cerebral.
Smart guy. And then some notable low scores. Frank Gore and Vince Young both scored 6.
I mean, am I just going to talk about this every episode? Yeah, of course Frank Gore got a 6. Look, YouTube him giving an interview. I think him getting a 6 is an achievement, honestly.
And then just so you know how little it actually means, Lamar Jackson, who had an incredible year last year, only scored a 13. So what does it really mean?
What does it mean? Yeah, I mean, they don't There isn't a question on that Wonderlic that says, "Oh, how fast are you?"
Yeah. How do you run fast?
I'm looking up what Mahomes got.
Oh, that's good to know.
Mahomes got a 24.
Okay. Pretty solid.
And let's just do, for the sake of it, I want to see what Aaron Rodgers got.
I bet he's in the 30s.
Aaron Rodgers had to. Aaron Rodgers, 35. So
Yeah. Makes sense.
almost as smart as Steve.
Almost as smart as me. He's somewhere between Joel and me.
Wow. That's how he loves to be described.
Before we get into our mock draft, I want to give a shout out to fantasydata.com. We have a partner now moving forward.
Yes.
If you're a sports statistics nerd like me, check out fantasydata.com for some of the best fantasy research, player stats, and advanced metrics you can find online. And they don't just do NFL either. They do baseball, college football, basketball, golf, hockey, anything you can really bet on, they will have information on. And because you're here listening to the Pilot On podcast presented by the Props Network, you can get a free week at fantasydata.com by entering the promo code PropsHQ. No spaces, just PropsHQ. Thank you, Fantasy Data, for being our partner.
Excited to partner with you. I'll be on you guys when I make my NBA playoff bets in July.
Heck yeah.
So we came up with a little game this week.
Yeah.
And it is inspired by a pool that we are participating, that one of our listeners, shout out to Rich, puts on every year. He runs a lot of fun leagues, by the way. And it's basically, there's a draft pool where you get 1 point for the pick in the correct slot. You get another point for having the player to the correct team. Yep. Trades are allowed. And we basically get a nice little Google Drive sheet, and we give them $10. We give them our picks, and winner take all. But that wasn't enough for us. So we got a little side pod going, and whoever loses head-to-head between us has to buy a cameo from an ex-NFL player. The winner picks, I think.
Yeah, that sounds good.
To promote the podcast. And I think we'll do a $30 limit. Seems reasonable.
That sounds good.
I was eyeing Ryan Leaf, but $50 for Ryan Leaf.
It's a little steep.
Yeah, like, no, like, you're an ironic cameo. It shouldn't be more than $30 as the limit.
Yeah. So really, this is a win-win for us. We are going to get advertising from an ex-NFL player after this episode. Huge for the brand of Pilot On.
Yeah, and if you guys have any suggestions on Cameo for me to have Steve do, because I feel pretty confident about this.
Okay.
I feel like I know Steve's smarter than me. The dumber you are, the better you are at mock drafts. Steve went very simple. You know, I got creative with the process.
Yeah, so I was racking my brain on what the best way to do this would be, and I figured I just wouldn't do any trades because besides maybe the Lions at 3, it's impossible to know where any of these teams would be trading to or who they'd be trading with. So I just kept my draft sheet exactly the way it is right now. Did you make trades?
I did make trades, and I'm just going to send you I'm going to screenshot mine. I'm going to send it to you right now just in case you want to look at it while we're talking. That could be a good idea for us. So there it is. Sent it over.
I'll do the same.
And you do the same when it's first, but first overall pick. We're both GMs living in Cincinnati, going to Go Bananas Comedy Club, munching on Skyline Chili after we see the Rand Barnacle show. Great Cincy comic. Great comedy town, actually.
Is it really?
And, Cincinnati is a better comedy town than San Francisco or Seattle.
Wow.
It's so fun to do stand-up in Cincinnati. I don't know how or why, but it is.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
So I guess this one's kind of a gimme. I'm assuming I know what you picked.
Yeah, the Vegas odds are you bet 1,000 to win $1 that this guy is the pick, which, I'm winning $5 off the line of the Fiesta Bowl. I'm going Joe Burrow, quarterback from Louisiana State University.
Yep. I did the exact same thing. And I think 1 and 2 here seem like kind of locks. I'm sure we have the same thing for 2 as well. You have Chase
Yeah,
Young.
and one note just on Joe Burrow. I'm calling it right now. Alex Smith 2.0.
You think so?
Yeah, I don't see a tremendous amount of ability that puts him. He's like what? He's got great decision makings, not like the greatest arm of all time, not the greatest athlete of all time. I think he'll be a B plus for his entire career.
Interesting. Let me look up his odds for rookie of the year. Because I think he's probably the favorite, which makes sense. Um,
And he is going to Cincinnati with, they didn't get a lot of attention last year, but Joe Mixon has come into his own as a pretty great offensive weapon. And AJ Green, they seem very confident. They franchise tagged a 32-year-old receiver. So
Yeah.
in Cincinnati, they seem to know something. But, just given like their track record with first round picks, I believe 5 of their past 6 first rounders have not played more than 75 snaps for the team, which is just crazy.
That's a crazy stat.
It might be in their rookie season, but it's like
right.
John Ross was a notable bust. They've had a few others.
So Joe Burrow is plus 250 to win Offensive Rookie of the Year. He's the favorite by quite a bit. And he has the weapons around him, I feel like, to do well. Is Joe Mixon going to hold out?
It might be a good time for him to hold out just because he's a great safety net for
exactly.
Joe
this
Burrow
is the time.
Have.
Yeah. Okay, let's go to number 2 here. The Redskins. I have the Redskins selecting Chase Young, edge rusher out of Ohio State.
Yeah, that's my pick as well. Although I will say rumors are really swirling about teams trying to get this pick. Like the Redskins have been involved with a lot of interesting rumors. I have them mocked in a trade a little bit later on in the draft that I'm going to get to. But teams are inquiring about this, and I don't think you'll see movement. Like if someone's doing this trade, I think it's safe to say that they're probably going to trade up for Chase Young.
Yeah, I think so. And so number 2 is a really safe spot for him.
Number 3, we have a trade.
You're okay. Miami
The Miami Dolphins give up their 5th overall pick, and they give up their 2nd rounder to the Detroit Lions, and they select Tua Tagovailoa.
Okay.
Quarterback out of Alabama, national championship winner. He's got a resume only Trevor Lawrence can compare to. He's a franchise quarterback if healthy. I think he pulled the trigger.
That would be super fun if that happened. I played it safe, and I left them picking Jeff Okudah because here's the thing. The way the rules in this work, if you get the player with the team, you get a point. And I feel like if the Lions trade down with the Dolphins or the Chargers, they'll grab Okudah at 5 or 6.
Yeah, and I think the Miami thing is pretty intriguing because Miami, they're sending out a lot of smoke screens. They're saying that they want to trade up to 3 to take Andrew Thomas. They're saying they love the tackles. But there's a new rumor hitting the market that's kind of picking up steam. I would love to see it. A lot of people that I'm talking to hate it. I'm seeing the rumor of 18, 26, and the 2nd rounder for 3rd overall with Detroit. They keep 3 and 5.
Whoa. Would the Lions do that?
I mean, having 4 top 40 picks when you have so many holes on the roster.
That's true.
Like it could really just, and then like you're able to get one of these running backs and one of these receivers. Like the skill positions aren't going to go till early round 1. I don't have any running backs in my 1st round.
Me neither.
They can really have a talent infusion. So I would be interested in seeing it. Like Miami is going to do something bold. The defense is probably there.
Yep.
And watch out.
That's fun. I hope you're right.
I hope I need to be right. If we just take Jeff Okudah at 3, like there's so much dialogue coming up right now that a lot of GMs prefer CJ Henderson, who's being mocked in the early teens.
Right. Yeah, interesting. Well, he had SEC players, so he had way better competition in college. So
yeah, but Ohio State, he gets measured next to Malcolm Jenkins, Lattimore, all the great cornerbacks that have gone to Ohio State.
That's true.
it's no different than receivers who went to LSU.
Right. All right. Number 4, New York Giants. I have them taking offensive tackle Tristan Wirfs out of Iowa.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So I think the Giants, they're also very clumsily doing smoke screens. Like they're trying to link themselves to Justin Herbert, which anyone can roll their eyes at like pretty easily. Like we know that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
And I know the Giants are going to take a tackle. Gettleman loves to build from the trenches.
Yep.
And you can really just crapshoot because their player evaluation is different. I thought maybe going with Mekhi Becton here. I've backed off. I've put Jedrick Willis out of Alabama into that spot. So
that's a good. I think it's between Wirfs and Wills but the one thing that made me go Wirfs was that apparently the Giants have been talking a lot to him. They've spoken to him the most out of any draft prospect so far. So I don't know. Who knows if that has anything that will really translate to tomorrow night, but he's an athletic freak. He ran a 4.85 40,
Whoa.
and he weighs 320 pounds.
That's pretty incredible. And, I haven't seen, there's no consensus on the tackles in this draft. This is a historic tackle draft. We could see 8 tackles picked in the first round and no one knows who will be the first tackle. There's no one knows who will be the second tackle. Like you have all these like great SEC tackles. Like I've got the tackle from Georgia, not even in my first round. And I think that's fine.
Yeah. I took a couple futures on Wirfs going 4. I took him like plus 200 to be first offensive lineman off the board, and then plus 450 for Giants' first pick to be Tristan Wirfs.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm gonna put in some picks later tonight, early tomorrow. I will put that up on the Twitter.
Hell yeah!
And you guys can check that out. 5th pick.
Yeah. Who do you have? You have the Lions picking here.
I have the Lions after they trade down. They're going to resist their temptation, their absolute inclination to take Derek Brown. You can't justify taking a run-stuffing D tackle in the 5 spot as much as they want to. They're going to take Jeff Okudah. If you go by certain metrics, he's the best cornerback prospect of the past generation, and I expect him to be pretty successful at the pro level. Maybe not an all-pro kind of player, but he'll be steady. He'll be a day 1 starter.
I have the Dolphins still here, and I have them taking QB Tua Tagovailoa.
Yeah, I mean, we're really we're taking it all.
We're taking our jackets off.
Yeah, who's that on your shirt? Is that Jack Nicholson?
This is Socrates wearing glasses.
Oh, he appears to be the same age as current day Jack Nicholson.
Yeah. But yeah, I have Tua going to the Dolphins, which is the same team you have him going to, just in a different slot. So really,
we don't buy this. We don't buy this. All these negative stories about Tua. We know it came out today that Miami passed Tua on his physical.
Okay.
And, they've got a lot of skill there. If they're able to pull off this move, and they've got so many picks, they could possibly end up with quarterback, left tackle, and receiver.
Yeah.
That's an offense right there.
That's true. And there's a lot of talk about Justin Herbert being the second quarterback taken. I don't buy it. I do think he goes next, though, to the Chargers at number 6. That's who I have the Chargers getting.
Well, I think the Chargers, they need to make a splash in Los Angeles, and they are going to pick Isaiah Simmons to pair with Derwin James, and they're going to move forward. They will have the best defense in football within the next 5 years.
Yeah.
2 elite pass rushers, 2 elite Swiss Army knives. Mm-hmm. There's no limit on what the athleticism that they have there can do. And also, Cam Newton can play in this offense. You have Eckler underneath. You have 2 physical receivers who could just go get the ball.
Yep.
Like, I think the Chargers pick Isaiah Simmons, and I think the Chargers make the playoffs next year.
Wow. Huge Chargers fan.
Huge. They're my number 2 team, baby. I'm excited about a few teams in the AFC West, actually.
Yeah, I am too. Okay. So you have Simmons, I have Herbert.
Yeah, we'll get through the next pick, which is Carolina. I have them taking Derek Brown.
Okay.
It's a new regime with Matt Rule, and they're going to take the best player available. I accept the argument that Derek Brown has the highest floor of any of these elite prospects.
Yep.
If you watch his tape against Clemson last year, he had LSU last year. Two guys who were projected to be round 3 picks tried to double team him. They couldn't do it.
Yeah. He's a freak.
And, and there's nothing. They're restarting in Carolina. I think they're going to be competitive, but they're just going to pick the best player available, and that's Derek Brown at this point.
I have the same logic as you, but I have Isaiah Simmons falling further than you do. So I have the Panthers picking Isaiah Simmons here. Just they need a replacement for Luke Kuechly. He's the best player on the board. They think he's a good fit in Carolina.
Yeah, a lot of people have some questions about Simmons. I think a lot of teams think he'll be just a front of the line, amazing player. A lot of teams think he might not really have a positional fit, so that'll be exciting to see. I would love to see him in Carolina.
Yeah.
And that's kind of him staying home too. So that's a hometown hero situation.
Yeah.
No one knows where Clemson is. Nobody knows. Like, I found out where Clemson was 3 years ago because I was doing shows in Greenville, South Carolina, and they told me Clemson's nearby. There was no way of knowing before that.
All right, Arizona Cardinals.
Is that the pick, or is there a trade, Steve?
Oh my God! Okay.
There's a trade. The Denver Broncos have given up their first and second to move to the 8th spot and take the consensus number 1 or number 2 receiver in the draft, owner of the 9 Wonderlic, Jerry Jeudy.
I love that.
Yeah, and that they got with Cortland Sutton. They put Jeudy next to him, playing in Mile High with the rocket arm Drew Lock. Like, that's a pretty nice assembly of skill positions, and I could definitely see it working out for him. I'm pretty confident Jeudy will be the first receiver taken, and I think Denver has the capital to move up and make it happen.
I would love that. I played it safe again and kept the Cardinals here, and I have them taking Jedrick Wills because they need a little help on the offensive line. Last year, they were pretty good on the run, but they gave up 50 sacks on Kyler Murray. And a lot of that could be contributed to Kyler Murray holding the ball for too long. But if they're going to really build their team around Kyler, they need to have a line for him. So I think Jedrick is probably the best offensive lineman in the draft.
Yeah, there's an argument to be made. I have them trading down. I have them taking a tackle a little bit later. I have them. I'm guessing that they evaluate. I have different tackle rankings than other people might say, but they'll address that need. And the 9th pick is probably my favorite in my whole mock. Who do you have going to the Jacksonville Jaguars?
I have the Jaguars taking defensive lineman Derek Brown.
Ooh, that would be a good Jags pick. They love taking a defensive tackle.
They love it.
They passed on Lamar Jackson when their entire fan base was clamoring for Lamar Jackson to take a defensive tackle out of one of the Florida schools who doesn't really get any snaps for them.
Yeah. This is a very Jaguars-y pick, and they need help now that Calais Campbell is gone. It looks like Yannick Ngakoue is going to leave. He doesn't want to play for them anymore.
Yeah, and there's a lot of fun rumors with them, using 9 and Ngakoue to possibly move up.
Yeah.
Like, I've seen them linked to Washington with 9, 20 and Ngakoue in exchange for 2. That could be a fun deal. And I also have a very typical Jacksonville Jaguars pick. They're taking Justin Herbert, baby.
Oh, rules.
He's next in the proposition of Blaine Gabbert, Blake Bortles, Justin Herbert. Get some 6'6" asshole, put him back there and pretend he's a star for 3 years. They have the same strategy as Tampa Bay without any of the know-how or connections to the NFL Illuminati.
You've seen that Leonard Fournette is campaigning for Cam to come to Jacksonville, right?
Yeah, Cam's not going there. They're fake shopping Leonard Fournette right now.
Right.
Because Leonard Fournette thinks he deserves the Christian McCaffrey contract, which he doesn't.
No.
And so they're shopping him as a false pretense to show him just how little his value is.
Right. Yeah. It's just so funny that, openly the starting running back of a team would be like, I don't really care for my quarterback. I'd rather have someone else.
Yeah, and their owner's son is fighting with Yannick Ngakoue
on Twitter.
over Twitter.
Yeah.
Why do they treat their star players so toxically? They were so close to a Super Bowl. They made this big reason like, oh, we need to get rid of Tom Coughlin, and like, yo, you're still being assholes.
Yeah.
That's the problem with Tom Coughlin. It's not like, oh, we don't like the Super Bowl. It's like he's hard to work with, and you guys are being hard to work with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great franchise.
I hate that team. They're the most flaccid franchise in existence.
All right, number 10. Did you stay with the Browns here?
I did. The Browns have not moved back.
Okay, who do you have them taken?
So I have the Browns. They're very lucky. Tristan Wirfs, he falls to them.
Okay.
They get their left tackle. They get their franchise left tackle stepping into what shades of Joe Thomas here.
Mm-hmm.
And, I see him as the second tackle off the board, and just because the Giants don't properly evaluate. I wouldn't be surprised if 4 tackles go in the top 10, but I think that'll be more trades than I'm comfortable with.
Yeah, so I have my third tackle off the board here at number 10 with Mekhi Becton. Same line of thought as you. They need help on the offensive line, and he's maybe the best one on the board. He's so big. It's crazy how big he is.
I hate that fit for the Browns. So
really?
I hate that for Becton, because Becton's the guy with like questions about his work ethic, questions about his polish and footwork.
Habits.
Yeah. I mean, the drug habits, like, hey,
it doesn't matter anymore.
There's a reason Rob Gronkowski came back.
Exactly. He waited
420. Yeah. The day after 420. Like, oh, he can't be tested anymore? Oh, sure. Enjoy it. Yeah, I just don't think the Browns have the infrastructure to make Becton a success. Maybe that changes in the Kevin Stefanski regime, but I think he's going to need a more hands-on approach. I like the skills, I like the player, but seeing that Baker Mayfield didn't know how to do a push-up last year, I don't think matching the guy who loves pancakes with the Browns training staff is an exemplary idea.
Yeah. I don't know. It's the Browns. So who knows also.
Okay, the next pick.
Yeah, I've got the Jets here at 11 taking wide receiver CeeDee Lamb out of Oklahoma.
Oh, that's been linked a lot. And yes. There is like a philosophical question. How do you help a young quarterback succeed? You could take a great receiver like CeeDee, or you can go tackle Andrew Thomas, very steady, very solid prospect across all boards, and that gives the Jets just a lot of cohesion there.
Yeah, I like an offensive tackle pickup there. I know in free agency they really addressed their offensive line, which is why I leaned wide receiver a little bit, because they didn't really address that position. Then I have CeeDee going ahead of Judy. Also.
Oh, wow. I have CeeDee falling a little bit, just kind of how the board shook out for me. And then, I think it's possible the Jets picking 43rd in round 2, there's still going to be first-round talent receivers available. That's going to be the case in round 3 even.
Yeah, it's true.
And if you want to take the bet that Brashad Perriman can operate as like a big chunk of your offense, which seemed to be the case in Tampa next year, I think you go offensive tackle here.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, the Jets just shouldn't do what their fans want. They're clamoring for a receiver. I don't believe that's the call. So I hope they go tackle here. I want to see a New York team succeed. Now let's see a team do something dumb.
Yeah, the Raiders are at number 12. Who do you have the Raiders picking up?
And the Raiders, they have 2 first-round picks.
They do. 12 and 19.
And I expect them to miss on both of them. They're going to address the right needs, take the wrong guy. I have them taking Jordan Love here.
No way. Really?
Absolutely. What quarterback has John Gruden ever hated? And he's kind of the opposite, because he has Mariota and Derek Carr there. So you bring in like a strong-armed prospect like Jordan Love John Gruden will be able to run that down the field traditional Raiders offense that they've always run. And I just think they'll misevaluate the positions here.
That would be amazing if they did that.
Yeah, their 19 pick goes with them, and I think they both bust. Who do you have at 12?
I have them getting Jerry Jeudy at 12.
Would be great. He'd be a great weapon there.
Which would be a great pick, but it is the Raiders, so maybe I am making too good of a pick.
Yeah. So 13, I think, is easy. Given how the board is shaken out, the San Francisco 49ers have this pick from the Colts for sending DeForest Buckner there in a trade, and I think they find their replacement in Javon Kinlaw.
Yep, I have the same exact pick.
Oh, nice. We're killing it there. Just great tools. Coming to a great defensive coordinator, Robert Saleh, pride of Dearborn, Michigan. I just want him to be the Lions coach so bad.
I actually think the Niners will trade out of 13, but I didn't mock it that way. But I do think this is a place where they could trade out of.
Yeah, I have a trade with my next pick, actually, so I didn't want to have San Francisco trading.
Gotcha.
So with the 14th pick, we have kind of a blockbuster.
Okay.
This pick goes to Washington along with O.J. Howard for Trent Williams.
You think they would trade Trent Williams and I guess it'd be Trent Williams for a first and OJ.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I think they'll probably give up a little bit more in compensation, but if you have Tom Brady, if you have Rob Gronkowski and these great receivers under contract, you're in win now mode. Are you going to take a chance with putting the greatest quarterback ever with a project tackle, or can you get one of the top 3 tackles in the league right now, plug him in, and O.J. Howard doesn't really have any value. These teams have talked about trading for these exact players already. Mm-hmm. And so I have Washington trading back and taking Mekhi Becton.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That would be cool. I mean, I love the trade. I've seen rumors of that being something that I think people are just hoping happens rather than, I don't know how realistic it is. I don't know if the Redskins are smart enough to do something like that and to get value out of their guy who's not going to play next year.
Yeah, but I think you can kind of expect Tampa to play fast and loose with the draft capital. Like other teams, they're governed by like a 5-year planner window. Right. That's not the case with what's going on in Tampa. It's a very unique situation. Yeah. And grabbing Trent Williams makes all the sense in the world for them.
Yeah. I have the Bucs staying put because I didn't have any trades. I have them taking Andrew Thomas, the tackle out of Georgia.
I mean, if he's there, that would be great. Andrew Thomas could be a day one starter for sure. Yeah. But I don't think he'll be. He wasn't there in my mock. He was off the board. He's in New York. He's hanging out at Pine Box Rock Shop where he's eating fish and Chinese. Sam Darnold's taking him to Peter Luger, so he's enjoying himself. Meanwhile, Mekhi Becton, one of my general predictions for this draft, Mekhi Becton will go to the wrong team.
Yeah. Well, he needs he needs to go to the Patriots basically to succeed.
That would be great. If he goes to like the Patriots or the Ravens, but all these teams have so much instability early on. Yeah. They're going to screw it up.
It's true. All right, number 15. You had the Broncos trading out of this. So who's here right now?
So the Cardinals have the pick.
Okay.
And they select Austin Jackson out of USC.
Nice.
Yeah, a little higher than most boards, but I think has all the physical skills. And, you just want to take a tackle to pair with Kyler Murray. I was very tempted to put Henry Ruggs in this position, but he'll have his professional career ruined. And so they go tackle here. They have to.
That makes sense. I had them taking a tackle earlier. I have the Broncos getting Henry Ruggs here.
Which would be great. That'd be a great situation for Henry. He's going to wish he went to Denver when I'm done with him.
He is so fast, and the Broncos already have Cortland Sutton on the other side. It'd be a great pairing. I would love to see him in Denver.
Yeah, and Cortland's kind of a legit number one. Like people didn't watch a lot of the Broncos the second half of last year, but he was incredible for a very feisty Broncos team. Mm-hmm. And, Drew Lock, he could be Family Dollar Matthew Stafford in his second season. He's going to accumulate yards. And if they can put together a defense and that home field advantage, who knows? They're going to contend with the Chargers for that wild card in the AFC West.
That's fun. All right, number 16, the Falcons.
Okay, so this team, a lot of rumors that the Falcons want to trade up.
Yeah, I saw that.
But they don't make it happen here, but they still get their guy in C.J. Henderson.
Agreed. I have C.J. Henderson to the Falcons as well.
Dang, we're going to split the pot.
It just makes sense. They need a cornerback really badly. He is very good, and they don't have to trade up to get him. I mean, they might have to during the actual drafts, depending on how things shake out, but getting a replacement for Desmond Trufant in the middle of the first is very nice.
All right. So next pick, we have I made a mistake coming up here. Dallas Cowboys. They select CeeDee Lamb.
Okay.
He's fallen. He's on the board. They need to go interior line, but they're not going to be able to turn down the star here.
Interesting. Okay. I mean, I wouldn't put it past them. He'd be a good fit in Dallas for that offense. I have them taking Kayvon Chason, the LSU edge rusher.
Ooh, I've been looking at all his stuff. His first step is amazing.
Nasty. He's like a very raw prospect. I think he only started playing football like 4 years ago or something crazy like that. But yeah.
So shades of when Ziggy Ansah was drafted by the Detroit Lions, and Ziggy made NFL history. He was the first person ever drafted to wear glasses from a 3D movie to the podium. Really, just you as a Lions fan, you find whatever you can to hang your hat on. It's like, yo, I'm gonna go see Up. I'm gonna pop the lenses out of these. Then I'm gonna go meet Roger Goodell. So I made a mistake here. I was working on it I was moving players around, and I had Javon Kinlaw here.
Oh, you have him on your board twice?
Yeah, I do. So
something that might actually happen tomorrow night in the virtual draft is a player might get drafted 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, GMs beware.
So wait, you have Javon going 18?
I fixed it. Okay. I went with the earlier pick. So I'm going Kayvon Chason 18 to the Miami Dolphins.
Makes sense.
Yeah, that works for me.
That fits a need for them. I have them taking offensive lineman Josh Jones out of Houston.
Oh yeah, his stock's going up. I have him as a first rounder as well.
Yeah. And I have a ton of offensive linemen getting drafted in this first round. I think I end up having 6 or 7 by the end of it. Yeah,
there could be 8 O linemen taken.
Yeah.
And really, I mean, we talked about it. I would love to see the Cowboys do the conservative thing, go Cesar Ruiz, but I don't think Jared Jones is going to go for that.
No, they could probably get him in the second if they trade up.
Yeah, and who do you have going 18 to Miami?
18 to Miami was Josh Jones.
Oh, got it. Josh Jones. I was fixing it. 19. Let's ruin histories. Let's ruin lives.
Yeah, what do you have here?
I have the Vegas Raiders selecting Henry Ruggs.
Okay. That's a very Raiders pick.
Yeah, they're going to move forward with Jordan Love, Henry Ruggs, and it won't work because Henry Ruggs, he's a great complement to a consistent offense.
Yes.
If you're just counting on the speed guy to be your offense, I don't think they might have the worst pass catchers in the league.
Yeah.
And it's always the case, and they always pick the wrong receiver.
Yes.
This is Darius Hayward-Bay all over again.
Yep.
Book it.
That's a very Raiders pick. Anyone who can run a 4.3 or faster, the Raiders are salivating over.
Yeah, they're going to get Love and Ruggs, and Raiders fans will be cheering on the carpet store connection.
I have the Raiders here picking Christian Fulton, the cornerback out of LSU.
Oh, that's a nice pick. I have Christian Fulton going next to the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Okay.
Because they gave up that pick they got the pick in the Jalen Ramsey trade.
Yep.
Pick the best corner available. That's Christian Fulton. You can maybe take a look at AJ Terrell out of Clemson there, but I have Fulton a little higher on my board.
I have the Jaguars also taking a corner, but I have them taking Jeff Gladney out of
Ooh.
TCU. Yeah.
Yeah. A little bit raw, but the Jaguars, they don't really I could see that happening just because they don't their board is rarely uniform to league standard.
Right. And I like Gladney. He's small and yeah, he's raw, but he's like a really competitive, scrappy guy.
And with our next pick, shout out to the Philadelphia Eagles for telling the entire league, oh, Jerry Jeudy's injured. His knee's messed up. They are just lying to the entire NFL, trying to get Jerry Jeudy to fall. And Jerry Jeudy's agent called them out for it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he said, no, he's fine. Don't listen to any teams. They're just trying to pick him, and they are. Philadelphia, they're 100% taking a receiver here.
I agree.
Their fans will riot. They didn't address it in free agency, and I have them going Justin Jefferson out of LSU.
Me too. The only concern with them taking Jefferson here, which I think they will do, is that he kind of profiles as a slot guy, and they already have a slot guy in Greg Ward. But Justin Jefferson would be such a huge improvement over Greg Ward that I think they just go for it.
Yeah, they'll be taking a receiver one way or another. You could go with, Mims could go
Denzel,
there.
yeah.
The receiver out of
Ayuk.
Colorado's a nice prospect as well. His name's hard to pronounce. Brandon Ayuk is a consideration.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I think Justin Jefferson's the safest one. And then you hate to see this next pick. Minnesota Vikings have 2 picks. One from the Stephon Diggs trade. I have them taking Xavier McKinney out of Alabama, inserting him into their kind of aging secondary.
Yeah.
So
I like that pick. I have kind of a silly pick here. I have the Vikings using the pick that they got in the Diggs trade, drafting Trayvon Diggs, Stephon Diggs' brother.
That's cute. That's the cutest possible outcome.
Yeah, it's really cute. Maybe the Vikings want to be cute, but he also fits a huge need for them as a cornerback.
Yeah, and there could be an opportunity to really embrace the working man fan base by forcing him to wear number 14.
Yeah.
So Vikings fans need to get new jerseys. Everybody wins. Man,
all right.
Okay, I might change my pick after that. So I don't have Diggs in there, so I can do it.
You don't have Diggs going in the first?
I do not.
A lot of mocks I was reading did not have him going in the first, but I think I think he might be like the 3rd best corner in the draft.
Yeah, but did the Vikings have a good experience with Stephon Diggs? Like he had the greatest moment in franchise history.
Right.
And spent 2 years calling out the franchise on Twitter.
That is true. That might raise some red flags.
Yeah, it's got to be hard to be like so much better than Adam Thielen and have the entire fan base just love Adam Thielen.
Love the white guy.
That's Midwest sports for you there.
All right, Patriots at 23. Who do you think they're going to take here?
Everyone's saying quarterback, but really, I think the Patriots have lost a lot of really blue chip players on defense over the past 2 seasons. Trey Flowers, now Jamie Collins, probably signed with some really forward-thinking franchise. So I have them taking Patrick Queen, linebacker out of LSU.
Nice.
Good athlete, good linebacker, could probably slot into that Jamie Collins role and will do a good job playing that 3-4 for him.
That makes a lot of sense. I like that pick. I have the Patriots taking Jordan Love, which I don't really like, but I feel like it's their biggest need, and it might be fun for Belichick to have a quarterback who can run around. He might want to play with a quarterback that is more of a dual threat than just a guy who stands in the pocket. Yeah,
it's not like Belichick has been watching the NFL evolve without having ideas of how to run that offense.
Right.
If the Patriots do anything that signifies a shift in philosophical thinking, I would much rather them pick Jalen Hurts, and that's because Jalen Hurts is getting a lot of buzz as a first-round pick.
Wow.
The connections between Saban and Belichick are pretty phenomenal. There's an HBO documentary about it where they just drink Cokes the whole time. Belichick goes to his daughter's wedding to prove he's a good guy at the end. So, Belichick likes consummate professionals, and that's what Jalen Hurts was.
Yeah, I would love that.
Yeah, it'd be amazing. Jalen Hurts in the right offense will be a gift to football fans.
Yeah. Number 24, the Saints. I have them taking who you just had going to the Patriots. I have them taking Patrick Queen, linebacker out of LSU.
Yeah, and I think that the Saints are so talented. The 2017 draft remains one of the best in NFL history, but I think they'll probably go best player available at this juncture. So I have it being Yetur Gross-Matos.
I love that guy's name.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm saying it correctly, but he's a defensive end out of Penn State.
Yep.
And he's climbing up the draft boards, and I think New Orleans will be happy to have him.
Yeah, I definitely think they're going to go defense here. My biggest reason for having them pick a linebacker is that I looked at the contracts of their current linebackers. 4 of them are becoming free agents after this next season.
Yeah, I kind of had the same thought, but I felt like a hybrid defensive end was doable. It was close enough where it could be a pass rusher linebacker in situations. Right. So we had the same logic there, had different ideas.
So the Vikings' second first-round pick at number 25, who do you have them taking here?
I think they're facing a contract imbroglio with Riley Reif, who, you don't really want to pay Riley Reif. He's a B- starting tackle. So I think they're going to try and hit reboot with Ezra Cleveland out of Boise State.
Wow. So you have him pretty high on your lineman board.
Yeah, and I think he's kind of fits what Minnesota wants out of their linemen. Great run blocker and just kind of quiet team first guy. He's not a great athlete, but his footwork and his polish are great. So he'll be able to step in and fit their very specific,
right,
zone blocking scheme right from the jump.
I have the Vikings replacing Stephon Diggs here with Brandon Ayuk.
Ooh, and love Ayuk. Ayuk really came alive. The tape, the second half of the year is just phenomenal. He figured it out. It clicked. And I actually have him going number 6 to the Miami Dolphins. So,
number 26.
Yeah, great minds. I have him going in the next pick.
Nice. That makes sense. So you have the Dolphins getting quarterback, O-line, and wide receiver?
I have them. I have the Dolphins getting quarterback, edge, wide receiver.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Wouldn't be surprised positions. The Chase on pick didn't have a lot of preparation
thought to it. Yeah.
Gavon Kinlaw mistake of 2020.
I have the Dolphins here getting Xavier McKinney, safety, because they need to replace Rashad Jones. And McKinney is a similar player to what Minkah Fitzpatrick was, and they drafted him a few years ago. Obviously, they traded him away, but they need a solid safety right now.
Yeah, and they're I like a lot of the safeties on the board at the time. I could see that working for sure.
All right. Pick 27.
Next pick, Seattle Seahawks. They're in win now mode. They haven't locked up Jadeveon Clowney now, and if there's a good edge on the board, they don't really have to pay him. I have AJ Epinesa out of Iowa. Terrible combine guy. Great tape. This guy was projected as a top 10 pick up until about a month and a half ago. I think it's great value, and it'd be hard for them to say no to him.
I think the Seahawks will trade out of this pick, but again, I took the easy way out, and I didn't do any trades. But the reason I think they're going to trade out is they have traded out of their initial pick in every draft since 2012, which is pretty crazy.
In these end round picks, I love doing the trades, but you don't know how the situation's going to break down.
Exactly. So I have them picking Yetur Gross-Matos.
Yetur Gross. You're better at saying the name than I am, so you've won the battle, if not the war.
Yeah, I think he's probably the best edge on the board. Him and Epinesa are 1 and 2, or 2 and 3.
We're in a pool with 15 people for this game, and What do you think the over-under is on the score of the winning pool?
So there's 64 total possible points.
Yeah,
maybe 28.
I'll be stunned if anyone gets over 15.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, look at how many possible combinations there are here. Like, one trade throws everything off.
I guess you're right. It's not just picking players who go in the first. You have to get them on their pick or their team. So yeah. But you are starting off with 4 right off the bat.
Yeah, that's a good call. I think over under maybe for me is maybe 12 and a half.
Yeah, that's probably right.
Yeah, 12 and a half, and I'm going under.
Especially these later picks, because we have no idea. There's going to be a ton of trades probably. For pick 28 with the Ravens.
Oh, well, they have a great history of taking troubled linebackers and helping them find great careers. So I have them with Zach Bond out of Wisconsin.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he was the core of like a pretty nice Wisconsin defense that was a tough out for some very good teams last season.
Yeah.
And this is a guy going to the right situation. Like, I love the fit, and I think it'll happen.
As a parent of a draft prospect, you have to just be praying. If your son is like someone who's projected to go late in the first, you've got to be praying for the Ravens or the Patriots.
Yeah, absolutely. I met someone the other day who thought he was going to be drafted by the Patriots, and he wasn't, and he was very bitter about it.
When were they drafted?
They're a current player for a team picking in the top 5, playing a premium position, and
Yikes.
I've seen them play before, and they were put in to lose.
Yeah. I have the Ravens also taking a linebacker. I have them taking Kenneth Murray, the Oklahoma linebacker.
Yeah, I love Kenneth Murray. I think nothing but upside there. I have him going a few picks later. I could easily see it happening there. Next pick, it is weird though. Baltimore has no glaring needs. They're just going to take the best player available.
Yeah, them and the Chiefs. I was like, I don't really, just whoever's the best on the board probably. But the Titans are number 29.
So they lost a few of their good players in free agency. They lost Taylor Lewan. They're trying to jettison they got rid of their Pro Bowl defensive tackle.
Yep.
So, and they're going to fill one of those needs. I have them going with Josh Jones to fill the tackle spot.
Nice. Okay. That makes sense. I have them getting AJ Epineza here, the edge rusher, because I think they do need more of a pass rush next year.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to be 6-10, so they'll be able to book it right now. They're going to be able to fill their edge position in the top 10 next season. For sure.
Interesting. The former AFC champs.
Yeah, they're a flash in the pan. It's hard to repeat your success, especially when I think the overall talent level on quarterback is lacking behind much of the league.
Yeah, I agree with that. All right, Packers at number 30. I think they could trade out of this pick as well, but I have them taking wide receiver Denzel Mims out of Baylor.
Yeah, I have the same pick actually.
Wow.
They can't trade out of this pick, right? Like Aaron Rodgers, his prime is either over or beginning its twilight.
Yeah.
And they need to give him a weapon to put next to Devontae Adams.
Exactly.
Give them a chance in that division.
Yeah, and Mims is a freak. He ran sub 4.4. He's 6'3". He's just like a total freak. I can't wait to watch him play. And I hope he ends up in a good situation like the Packers or even the 49ers would be good for him too.
Yeah,
49ers.
Even the Packers, like Devontae Adams is mentioned like an elite receiver. No, he's a tall guy who plays with Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah,
That's
it helps.
about the extent of it.
Yeah.
They didn't miss a beat with him in the entire when he was out at all last season.
Yeah. 49ers at 31. Who do you have them taking?
Man, I really hate this pick. I really struggled with this one. I didn't know what to do, so I had them taking Grant Delpit, safety out of LSU.
Wow. They do need safety help.
They do need safety help. I've heard a lot. People are so polarized about Grant Delpit. A lot of people love him, say he's a 10-year starter. A lot of people say he just played in a really good secondary at LSU, which he did.
Right.
But It's hard at pick 31.
Yeah, I have the 49ers here getting a steal with Austin Jackson, offensive
Ooh.
lineman out of USC.
Yeah, Austin Jackson could go anywhere from top 10 to the top of round 2.
Yeah.
Just USC, they get great offensive tackle talents. Their offensive tackles usually convert well to the NFL position. And I do want to point out to anyone watching the video, the sun has set. I haven't been slowly suffocating over the course of this episode. I've just gotten more and more purple. I was looking great. Now it's just disturbing how purple I am. I look like the woman who ate the gum in Willy Wonka. Just roll me out of here. The podcast is almost done.
Yeah, and it's been dark here for hours, so you're all about to find out how me and Joel act when the sun goes down.
You know what? I'm trading that. I'm changing that pick. I'm gonna put in Julian Aquara to San Francisco.
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, Aquara, his brother is an effective NFL player with the Lions. I think that pedigree. I think they love using their first-round picks on whoever they think the best D lineman is. And,
yeah, that's true.
You know, I thought about Trevon Diggs there, but the Delpit thing, I think I like him more than most people.
Okay. All right, number 32, last pick of the first round, the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, I have him taking Lamar Jackson. No, they lost Ragland, a pretty effective linebacker last year, to the Lions at free agency. So I think they're going to try and replace him with a run thumper. I have him going Kenneth Murray.
Okay.
So
that makes sense. And that he'd fit in really well there. They need linebacker help. I have them taking Jalen Johnson, a cornerback.
Yeah, Jalen Johnson could go there as well. I think this is probably going to be a trade out. It's going to be.
I agree.
But, you know, if this happens, like, wow, the Chiefs could really pull the trigger on a nice running back here and get just another weapon.
Yeah, that is true. There was like speculation that they're going to trade up and try to get Henry Ruggs.
Yeah, but he's like Tyreek Hill if he was a decent person.
Yeah, if you're just a good human being. Wow, that's it. That's 32 picks.
We did it.
We did it. We burned through it.
So we'll be back next week with the results.
Yes. So wait, for yourself, what goal are you setting? How many of these picks do you want to get right?
If I get 10 points, I will be thrilled.
Yeah.
Do you have a pick you want? I feel I would love to see Isaiah Simmons happen. I would love to see Jordan Love to the Raiders.
Oh, yeah.
If I can just get Love and Ruggs to the Raiders, I will call myself the champion of this thing.
I think Jordan Love is the player I'm most interested to see where he ends up.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be a blast.
Can't wait. I'm so excited.
Here, and it's going to be so much weirder than we can even anticipate.
I can't wait for all the technical difficulties. Before we go, I have an important update on our Twitter following. We set our goal for 15 followers this week. We are at 17 followers.
Dang, you're crushing it.
I'm crushing it. I won't reveal my secrets, but it is working.
You're doing great, baby. I got to get on there. I'm stretched a little thin for the Props Network here.
Yeah.
If anyone likes this or they like the Props Network, be sure to check out In Action. It's my quarantine quiz show live over Zoom. We had basically people come on. We play games about their favorite topics. We had the Well Read Comedy Tour come on, play Tennessee-based stuff. And we have Tom Takar and Tommy McNamara playing a Michael Jordan game on Monday that I'm so excited about.
Yeah, that's going to be great. Have you watched any of The Last Dance?
Oh, yeah. Appointment viewing. Put it on immediately.
I haven't seen. I'm waiting until it's all out, and then I'm going to binge it.
Oh, I wish I had that discipline, but I was just like, I need to watch this right now. What else are you doing?
Preparing for the draft. I'm so excited for tomorrow. I'm going to lose my mind. I'm working 12 hours tomorrow, and then I get off work at 8, and the draft starts at 8. So I'm thrilled.
Yeah, I got a tape In Action at 11 o'clock my time, and then I've got 5 hours to edit it and get it out. So I think I'll be done right. I'll have time to run routes with the receiver I'm working with, and then watch the draft.
It's perfect. And if you're listening to this and you're not following us yet on Twitter, we need 20 followers by next week. That's the goal. So we're at Pilot on Podcast. There is a street race happening outside my apartment. I don't know if you can hear that. But yeah, give us a follow on Twitter. We'll be back next week. We'll find out which of us did best with our mock drafts.
It will be excited. Yeah, it's going to be neck and neck because we're both very badly.
3-4. Yeah.
All right. I had a blast, Steve. This was so fun. Thanks for coming up with this idea. Enjoy it as always.
Thanks, man. And thank you to everybody listening. We'll see you next week. Goodbye.